Today, I'm going to be showing you guys my full 2025 haunted house walkthrough. Okay, so I'm going to go around here and show you guys everything I've done for the season. This is the daytime walkthrough. I will be posting a more edited and much probably better filming of the dark demo, so stay tuned for that. That will be posted, I think, like a couple days after this one. But right here, we've got the Haunted Trail sign here, all decked out with the clown heads and this little border at the bottom. We also got the open this Friday and Saturday, 6:30 to 8:30. That is our hours. We've been opening for a couple weeks now, but I've yet to film a walkthrough. So the theme for the front is the Carnival. So let's come over here to the first animatronic. This is Wacky Mole. I have most of these on. This one's a pretty old one now. I mean, he's from 2021. They brought him back. Right here we've got all these fencings and the banners. And then definitely my favorite, or one of my favorite parts of this carnival here, is this kind of entrance, but you don't really enter this way. But we've got Ringmaster in there with the circus tent and the Carnival sign there. A lot of this stuff is from Spirit's display from last year, which was very helpful making this. But I made this whole arch here. The top bit is from Spirit, and then of course the sign. And then I have Ringmaster actually connected to the insert like coin activator right here. So what we have to do is just press this coin here in, and then here he goes. He's definitely a great animatronic to kind of have like in the middle of the carnival. And if you guys know, he does have a normal projection in there, but it is still light out, so we can't see that. But yeah, there is a good look at that. And then we'll come over here. We got a hot popcorn sign. Peekaboo Clown, which is currently not on. He wasn't really working the best, so I don't have him on right now. And then here is Bullseye. He is the first new one for the season, or that I have set up here. And I love his colors. He works perfectly out here. He's a little quiet. I might need to turn him up a bit. But yeah, it definitely works perfect here. And then next to him, we have the ice cream truck from last year that I built. This is all made out of wood. It was over here, like closer to the fencing, but it did fall a couple times, so I had to like screw it to the tree here. But yeah, here is the look of this. Nothing new. I just built it back up. We got like the ice cream flavors with a bunch of just creepy flavors for ice cream. We got this skull ice cream on there on the shelf. And then we can back up here and see these hanging clowns. Right here we got a head and this clown, which is from Spirit a couple years ago. So now normally I won't have people do this, but I'm going to go through here just so we can see more animatronics. And this right here is Cotton Candy Dan. He is from last year. He's on censor.
All kiddos! Attention all kiddos! I found a lost parent!
I also have him next to the cotton candy stand I made last year. This is kind of the same setup that I had, but in a different location. But I love all the clowns out here in the front. I've never done a clown theme, and I have so many clowns, so it works perfectly. And then let's come over here. We got two other animatronics. These are a little smaller ones. These guys are on right now. But we have Poor George, and then here, Lucky Bottoms. And then over here in the mulch, we have Henry Hustle. But here is the clown archway. Definitely one of the biggest projects we've ever built for the haunt. And yeah, this is going like around the door. You can't obviously go in because that's not really part of the haunt. But this is, I'm pretty sure, like 12 feet up there. And then around like 8 feet wide, or a little more with the hair up there. But I love all the colors on this. It does a bit glow in the black light, but I don't really have a black light on it. And then we have the funhouse curtains from Spirit. Along with like the teeth, which really tie it all in. The hat makes it even taller. And then I've got the 12-foot Reaper out here. I know he's not really a clown animatronic, but I just wanted to use him out front here since I don't really have another spot for him. But that is pretty much it for the yard display. So let's go over here to the main haunted house area. We've got Nibbles right here near the fence, kind of watching you going up. And then here's a little photo op area. We have Grim here, along with this photo op coffin from Spirit back in 2023. And then let's come over here. We'll go to the front bit of the haunt, and then I'll enter there right after that. But we got some risers from Spirit. And on one of them here is a brand new prop for the season. This is Back Ben Bonnie. Her colors work perfectly with the diner area I have right here. We got like a spilled popcorn down there, a little crate with some skulls in there. And then here's the table. This is the donation table. I don't really have the donations out right now. And then here are all the animatronics. I need to update this. I didn't update it this year, but I have the 2024 ones, just not the 2025, because I don't really have space on the board, so I'm gonna have to get another one for next year. And then over here we have Jack the Reaper, which is the other animatronic on display here on the risers, and he looks perfect here. I'm glad I could use him in a good spot, but he does track people. I don't really think many people really notice it though, but he does look amazing there. And we'll back up here to see both of them along with the table. Okay, so now let's enter the main haunted house here with the retro diner. This is the first hallway for the 2025 season. I made this all the way back in July, but we can enter here with these doors, and I'll close them just so it's a little darker in here. We already got the animatronics going. Here we have Bag of Bones. He just jumped up from the table. But yeah, this is definitely a cool prop here. I made the whole table and then put Bag of Bones in here and then put a plate on his head so he does blend into that table there. I'll go back a bit. Here is the records that we have on the wall, and then the jukebox there. And then here's the main like bar area, I guess you would call it, with Evelyn Leach there, and he's just gonna keep going. But yeah, there he is again. But here's Evelyn Leach. I dressed her up in a more diner looking outfit. We have the menu up there. We got a bunch of rats in here. This one's like a really big one, some small ones, and I made all this food as well from like clay, along with the stool, which I also made from some extra pieces. And I think what all ties in this diner is this floor here, the checkered flooring. This is just a stick-on thing I put on the ground. Also, if you want to see a little more how I made this, I did post a video back in July of how I made it. But here's the next animatronic I have here. This is the claw machine. You can go ahead here and press the button.
Attention. This game is now
This one's from Party City.
Have you got the skill? Or will you be killed? Fear not, he won't bite unless you reach inside for your
And then we got
prize.
some ice cream posters here. I have a bunch of just different posters in the diner. So now let's enter the next hallway here. This is kind of an add-on to the diner. This is the freezer. It's a very small hallway, but it definitely goes with that diner. We got some hanging body parts here. We got a foot, a hand here, even a body bag, if you guys can see this. It's a little brighter than here than it would normally be, since it is bright out right now. Some intestines, hands up there. I did also post a video of this, I think in September. And then on this side here, we got a leg, the emergency button. This one's new for this season. You can normally press it, and then it turns on an animatronic, but I don't have it connected to anything right now. So now let's go to the next hallway here. We just got to go past the body bag and go into the forest, which I'm calling it. It is kind of a laser swamp, but it is a forest. I did do a laser swamp last year. It was much smaller, and I think the lasers look perfect in here with a much bigger space. I did not film this, so this is kind of a first time of you guys seeing this. We have the arch here. This is from Spirit. This one is Roddy Scotty from Party City. He is holding the lantern, which I did turn off since it was way too bright for the hallway. But yeah, we can go in here. It looks like water all in here. I normally have an actor there which pops up out of the swamp. It scares a lot of people. We got a skeleton there. This one is a corpse skeleton which I made last year, and he looks super creepy in that corner. There is moss all on the walls, if you guys can see that, which definitely ties in the whole look of the swampy forest. And then here we have the Hauntress. She hasn't been working recently. I don't know what happened, but normally she will pop out and scare a lot of people out of this, like, rusted part there, which she is hiding from. And now at the end of the swampy forest, we can go into the spider tunnel, which has to be one of the scariest hallways for the season. We have Wanda Webworth here in all the spider webs. It feels a lot more enclosed when it is darker, when we don't have, like, the light over there. But here she is. She's got those, like, red glowing eyes. And this is the first year I'm actually doing, like, a real hallway to exit through the garage. Normally I have, like, a little makeshift hallway, but I wanted to make use of the space, and I feel like it definitely came out good. There's spider webs all over the walls, all over the ceiling. But yeah, there is Wanda Webworth, and then we can exit through the side part of the haunt, which normally I will have this open. I just closed it so it was a little darker in there. And this is the Rotten Corn Maze. As you saw there was Desmodus. Definitely a good jump scare. He does seem to scare a lot of people there. There he is. Here's the rotten corn maze sign, which I've just been bringing back every year. A little cow skull. And then we can enter through the corn maze. The corn did get a little knocked down from like the wind and rain I've got recently. But I've been trying to fix it. I'll probably make sure that is up and ready for when I do open the haunt tonight. But yeah, we got pallets here making a little wall, and then the corn stalk. Here is my customized sitting scarecrow, which since he broke, I wanted to make use out of him. So I made him into this really scary face there with all the blood. And then we can come over here to see this lady, which I made last year out of all PVC. And the hair definitely helps make her look really creepy. And a lot of people seem to think that she's gonna like pop out, which I wish she did. That would be pretty cool. But she looks awesome there, kind of stuck in the corn maze. Here we've got some hay bales and some pumpkins, along with more corn stalk. And then here is the biggest part of the corn maze here. This is the barn that I made. It goes around 8 feet that way and 8 feet high, with opening doors, which you can go into the barn. So that's what we're gonna do next. But here is Nightmare Harvester. I have him off right now, but he will be on in the nighttime tour, so just stay tuned for that. This is a perfect space for him in this little enclosed area. At first, I was going to have an actor actually in there popping out, but I decided him, and I'm really happy I did. And I know a lot of people do like him, so it is cool to actually use him in a farm display. But now we can enter here into the barn, and this part especially is a lot scarier in the dark. But it is just a tunnel full of burlap, which you can walk through. And when it's dark, you really don't know what you're going to walk to next, so you just go through there. I normally have an actor in there popping out at people. And then here is the graveyard area. This is definitely a smaller graveyard than last year. Last year I had it all in the front yard over there. But this year we just have 2 gravestones, which I did make last year. These are made out of foam and with a lot of other materials I made, like with the concrete stuff. Definitely makes them a lot cooler and a lot more realistic. Here we have the Spirit Halloween tree from 2023. And hanging on it, we have little skelly bones there. I had him hanging on this tree last year, and he looked perfectly on there. But now this year, this is a new addition. I did make a mausoleum type space here. I wanted to get some type of doors or curtains, but I didn't really do that in time. And before I did have these cool like cardboard pillars, which I also coated in that concrete stuff, but it's been very rainy and windy that they did like break down. So I just added a little trim here, which still works perfectly fine. But yeah, you can walk in here to see the new Valak animatronic from 2025 at Spirit Halloween. She's gonna go soon. She's definitely a great jump scare, but she works the best if there's an actual group walking through here, since I don't know why they had to add it, but that little delay in the beginning, whoever first is there doesn't really get to see the jump scare. But here are the walls of the mausoleum. These are made out of foam, and then I took a razor blade and heat gun to make these kind of brick texture to it, and then along with the concrete stuff that I added. That's dry lock, if you guys are wondering. And then here's some plaques that I got from Spirit's like graveyard theme. This one says, "Here's lies Menacing Molly, Henry Hustle," and then Grim and Hugs the Clown. I love this arch right here, an opening with the nun in there. And I was gonna add a little cloth behind there, but when it gets dark, you can't really see through there that much. But then this is the end of the haunted house. You'll go through the curtains here and make it back to the driveway right here. But yeah, that is it for the 2025 daytime walkthrough. Definitely stay tuned for the nighttime tour. Trust me, it is a lot cooler and a lot more scary. Let me know in the comments what your favorite part of the haunt this year is. And if you aren't already, go follow me on Instagram, TikTok, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.